What other lessons can we take from the economic crisis unfolding in Sri Lanka? Dr. Rahul Mishra from Asia-Europe Institute share with us his insights.
There are a number of lessons. First and foremost, please don't get indulged into any kind of economic mismanagement. Malaysian economy and Sri Lankan economy are not point to point, but overall, they're very similar in the sense that both of them depend on tourism a lot. Both these countries are also dependent on a high volume of international trade. They are also dependent on trade and partnership with the major neighbors like India and China. In case of Malaysia, it is more with ASEAN countries, but China is a prominent partner there. So how you trade and what kind of investments you seek, what kind of projects you seek with other bigger economies is something that has to be taken care of. Another problem with countries like Sri Lanka and perhaps Malaysia as well is the populist policies. Governments across this region have to learn that populist policies that are detrimental to economic structure, economic architecture of their respective countries is something that they must avoid. Just because you are trying to win an election doesn't mean that you offer these tax cuts like Rajapaksa did in 2019, or those incentives that are not sustainable. So those kind of freebies have to be avoided.
We also asked Dr. Rahul on how best to avoid mismanagement in the country. He said having a long-term economic vision in place should be the main priority for all.
Keep your national economic health sound and don't tweak with it too much. I would suggest that there should be as little political interference as possible. It should be in the hands of politicians who know economics or economists who know politics. They should be the responsible people, should be at the center stage. And these policies should also be drafted keeping the long-term perspective in mind. So in case of Sri Lanka, what happened was you are moving from one election to another election. So one election to another election is like, it could be 2 months, it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years, 4 years in case of Sri Lanka, and that's not a good thing. So a long-term economic vision has to be in place. But I would count populist measure as the most difficult challenge at this time. In Malaysia, there is a political instability phase at this moment, and we see that there is this very natural this goal that politicians have that they should be in power or they should be back to power, and this political rivalry and competition should not sideline economic sensibilities and good economic management of the country.